गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Amrutanubhav, chapter 7, OV number 190. We looked at the meditation today on this one. The OV goes, Ghetala shwasa budala, ghampata nahi uthila, taisa dohi si simvatala, navezo artha. So these are the yoga bhumikas. This is the fifth yoga bhumika, meaning way bringing you through examples to a point where you are the conscious principle. And here it says the inhalated air is absorbed and the exhalation of air has not yet begun. This state of air or prana is the yoga bhumika. And or the Swamiji's commentary says, or the inhaled air is absorbed and the expulsion of air has not yet begun. There is no more modifications of air happening at the point of junction in the form of pran, apan, vyan, udan and saman. This thought is seen in the Bhagavad Gita when Krishna Bhagavan says, keep the sense organs away from the sense objects, keep the drishti in the center of the eyebrows, that is single pointed, not being deflected from one point to another. So here what are we doing? Instead of seeing various objects, we have made the in-breath and the out-breath as the object, and we are not getting distracted by in-breath or out-breath. We are catching the gap in between the two, namely the in-breath and the out-breath. And what is in between the in-breath and out-breath? What happens? This is the dharana abhyas. Dharana means the ability to focus on something at a particular point, a place where the mind is held under control with reference to the parameter called desha, space or place. So what is the place? The place is between the in-breath and the out-breath. Where is your attention? On the in-breath and the out-breath, but not getting distracted by the in-breath and the out-breath, but remaining focused, attentive to the gap between the in-breath and out-breath. What is the characteristic of this gap between the in-breath and the out-breath? In the gap, there is no inhalation and no exhalation. Swamiji says, there are three parameters for the control of the mind with reference to place, time and objectivity. We told you Desha, Kala, Vastu are the three parameters by which the consciousness is conditioned into conditioned consciousness. When these three parameters operate together, it is called Sanyama. And so here Bhagavan Krishna refers to the mind's control with reference to object, sparsha, and to place, chakshusha cha eva antare bhruvoho. When these two things, so where is our attention? Our attention is on the third eye, and our attention is on the space between the two breaths. And when these two things happen, then the third parameter of time follows. The prana and apan get equalized. When the prana and apan get equalized, the time stops, because in the gap there is no time. Where there is space, there will be time. But when you have brought yourself to to a point where there is no movement. How does time get created? Movement in space is time. And here, where the in-breath movement and the out-breath movement has come to a still or equalized, therefore, the rest at this moment, as we saw in today's meditation, that the respiration becomes slow and shallow. The result is total absence of thoughts with reference to place, time, and the object. The mind is conquered with reference to these three parameters. Eventually, what is deconditioning yourself? Deconditioning means going beyond space, time, and objectivity. Then what is beyond space, time, and objectivity? You, the conscious principle, is. When you allow the slavery of space, time, and objectivity, you are called a Jivatma or a conditioned being. Going beyond the three parameters, you are the unconditional being. That is what this OV conveys. The inhaled air has been fully absorbed, exhalation has not yet taken place, the body is still, respiration and pulsation in every cell is minimal, like that of a hibernating animal. Initially, it does not come across as the pulsation as is minimal. When you hold the breath and not breathe out, the pulsation will keep becoming accentuated, and you will feel that the throb within your body, whether that throb is at the navel, at the heart, and slowly it keeps expanding, and every cell of your body is throbbing at the same time. Eventually, it is even experienced by yogis that with every throb within you, you feel the entire creation is throbbing simultaneously. You have to experiment to realize this within yourself, and every cell is minimal, like that of a hibernating animal. And once this pulsation, this throb, this flux, this spandana within the body takes over the whole body, every cell, your mind is also pervaded by that throb, then that also quietens down. And once that quietens down, then the breath, as the breath becomes slow, initially the throb becomes big, louder, you can hear it in you, you can experience it, and then that also becomes quietened, because your attention is between the two throbs. And it will automatically go there if you do this exercise. And the air in the body at this point can be classified as neither prana nor apana. So when you are in that space, when you are in that gap, when you are in that kumbhaka, where there neither the in-breath is movement of in-breath air is happening, nor the movement of out-breath is taking place. And even if it is for a second or 2 seconds or 5 seconds, recognize you were in that point, you were in that disposition where the prana and apan have become equalized. You are in the equanimous state. There is no throb. This here now is a very important point. This undifferentiated air is equal to undifferentiated consciousness. So where there is no spandana, where there is no movement of air, is equal to, in that space, is equal to undifferentiated consciousness. So many times seekers find it very, they become very objective. Okay, here is something, as I told in the meditation, that air is, the breath or the air is inert. It has got no like, dislike. It is going on in and out and in and out and in and out. So your mind is not going to get distracted, diverted by anything, because it is a inert thing, and you don't have to create anything. When I think of Om, I have to put efforts to chant the Om and catch the gap between the Om. When I open my eyes, I have to close my eyes to see, to remove all the forms. But here, a process, I don't have to do anything. I have to just shift the attention, because the breath is going in and out by itself. And what is this undifferentiated consciousness? Where the knower known knowledge differentiation has not yet taken place. So what is that space between the two breaths? It is where it's a thought-free state, it is a gap, it is a conscious gap, and for as long as you stay in it, it will be like that. Now, where the knower known knowledge. What is knower known knowledge? The subject, object, and the instrument of knowledge. The thought is not appearing in the gap. See? It has not erupted yet. The thought has not erupted yet. When the thought erupts, you are no longer in that space. The thought has come and disturbed your, if you allow yourself to be disturbed, you are disturbed. If you give value to that thought, you are disturbed. How one who has arrived at this point develops universal vision, sarvatma bhav, which transcends individual experiences, is stated in an unparalleled way that if one were to experience all the sense objects by all the senses simultaneously, it would be an experience of self-realization. What is it? Om Sahasrashirasha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva. That is the Vaishwanara or the Virat Roop that Arjuna was presented. Bhagavan is experiencing through all the eyes simultaneously, is expressing through all the bodies simultaneously, through all the limbs simultaneously. At the relative level, at the apara level, that is the ultimate that one can experience. Apara, waking state. Kim avaghanchi karani vishayanchi gheni karitanchi eke kshani zeki ahe. If all the senses were to experience all the sense objects simultaneously, that would be the state of yoga bhumika. So, as much as you are enjoying listening to these yoga bhumikas, until and unless we don't initiate that contemplation within ourselves, it's not going to benefit you. So while you are listening to, or whenever you are by yourself, practice that breathe in but don't breathe out, and maintain the silence, remain in that gap, remain in that kumbhak, and see what is going on. And your attention should be that I must be free from all what is going on. So initially, long breath, and as a reaction, long breathe in or breathe out. Slowly, it becomes finer, and the breath becomes finer and finer and finer, because if I breathe in, there will be an equal and opposite reaction to breathe out after some time. And your attention is on the gap, your attention is on the kumbhak. So what can I do so that I remain in the kumbhak? Then if I breathe, take the in breath, a short in breath, then there will be a reaction of short out breath. Then even when I take a in breath which is even shorter, shallower, then equally opposite will be a shorter and shallower out breath. So your first the movement was in and out, in and out. Now it is becoming in and out, in and out. Then even less. Eventually it will stop. as you keep abiding in that space. So here the next Yoga Bhumika, sixth one, is if we were to experience if all our senses were to experience all their stimuli in one go, that is the meditation. So here normally what happens? Only one sense is working at a time. Right now one sense is working, which is hearing, and then at the same time, not at the same time, but it seems as if it is the same time, that you are seeing also. So hearing, seeing, hearing, seeing, hearing, seeing, hearing, seeing, hearing, seeing. Imagine if all the senses are seeing, hearing, touching, feeling at the same time, how would the experience be of all the objects? Eyes are seeing all the objects at the same time, the ears are hearing all the sounds at the same time. How would it be? If one were to experience all the objects through all the senses in the total creation together at the same time, that will be the realization of the self. In this process, the concept of time would be transcended. Meaning, the concept of time is what? Movement. Point A to point B. In breath and out breath. Point A to point B. One thought to next thought. Point A to point B. The pulsation. One pulsation, then second pulsation, then third pulsation. 1, 2, 3. Time is created. So what is this? If one were to experience all the objects through all the senses, not only yours, you are coming to a point where the water is experiencing all the waves at the same time in the total creation. Together at the same time, that will be the realization of the self. In this process, the concept of time would be transcended. This cannot be possible if you remain a wave. If you remain an individual, this experience, what is being narrated here, that if one were to experience all the objects through all the senses in the total creation, this will not be possible if you are an individual. If a wave remains as a wave, it can never have that experience of how I can experience through all the waves at the same time. You have to take the position of the water or the ocean. Individuality of the wave has to be dissolved. Same way here, in our case, apply it on yourself, that your individuality has to dissolve, and in its place the totality or the absoluteness, that alone, when it happens, then alone you will appreciate what is being told in this OV. This can be best exemplified by an incident from Shirdi Sai Baba's life. Once he asked a devotee for food, saying he was very hungry. That lady ran home and made hot rotis and vegetables and brought for him. And he at once fed it all to a hungry dog that was standing nearby. When she admonished him, he replied that the principle of hunger was same at every point it occurred. Similarly, a mother also, she feeds her child and she feels happy and satisfied because the child is happy and satisfied. This is the Sarvatma Bhav, where you feel satisfied in the satisfaction of others. That is Sarvatma Bhav, at a very gross way of putting it. In which, this is the Sarvatma Bhav, in which universal experiences are experienced without one becoming miserable or otherwise. This is only possible if you are at one ment with the substratum, otherwise it's not possible. The only way to experience, if one wave wants to experience all the waves at the same time, it has to take the position of water. Keeping individually intact, it can never be possible. And this way, keeping this disposition, one is able to maintain one's independence. The knowledge that through every eye, I alone see, through every ear, I alone hear, through every tongue, I alone taste, etc., takes place, and yet there is no limitation of the experience. The Purusha is 10 fingers above the experience of the trio in the Purusha Suktam that comes, Dashangulam. And Maharshi Narada wondered how Lord Krishna could possibly have so many wives, and so he went to each wife's house to find out the secret. In every house that he visited, he was received by the Lord himself. This is how great masters appear simultaneously in different places, because they have reached the Sarvatmya Bhav. In that Sarvatmya Bhav, the individuality is completely dissolved. If you keep thinking that I have to express, I am expressing through all the eyes of all the people, you will never reach the Sarvatmya Bhav, because you are thinking. Then how does Sarvatmya Bhav come? Only when you reach the undifferentiated consciousness. That undifferentiated consciousness, here previously it was told what? Between the two breaths, or appreciating that just like my mind is pervading all the senses of all the people in the dream, same is happening in the waking also. I can't work it out, but you appreciate it with faith, because you know mind is the material that has gone into making everybody and everything in the dream. Every mind of every person in the dream, every sense of every person in the dream. What is the experience of the mind after you wake up? That everything was in the mind, and mind was pervading. It was the every person's senses, every person's past, present, future. The space was one. See? But in the dream you may not have experienced, you did not come to that conclusion. Same way, in the waking, appreciate that that is the way. Even though at a gross level it is not your experience at the moment, because we are too object oriented, we are too flux oriented, we are too thought oriented. The name of the game is to catch the gap, and in this case, appreciate in this particular verse, appreciating the unifying principle as the self. Ishavasya Upanishad says, he who knows that he alone has become many, who has experienced the oneness with the substratum, how can he ever experience delusion of otherness or of loss and gain? So true. In that unified experience of the self, how can there be duality or multiplicity? How can there be east, west, north, south, west? Everything is conscious space. How can there be a movement of time? If there are no objects, there is no movement of time. If there is no movement of time and energy, then how can there be any objects? When energy vibrates at a certain level, it becomes crystallized. It is called an object. So think out of the box. See what works for you out of these so many 17 yoga bhumikas. At least practice one. You don't have to practice all of them. Practice one naturally, which is you have an inclination towards, and reach the ultimate, be the ultimate. Such a drishti means vision, is possible only for one who sees the oneness behind the manyness. And what is that oneness? If you see the water behind all the waves, if you see the gold behind all the ornaments, if you see the mud behind all the pots, if you see the consciousness, the witness conscious that you are behind all the body, breath, mind, intellect, etc., when you come to that unifying principle, you come to that oneness, then alone the truth that one alone is expressing as if expressing as many, this gets revealed. You cannot work it out. It has to reveal. The manyness of the sense organs is not from just one point of expression, but from all points of expressions. It is the same consciousness functioning as the knower known knowledge. So it is not that when you come to this pure consciousness, the undifferentiated consciousness, the substratum, it is not that I have become one with the substratum now. No. Once you be the substratum, as the undifferentiated consciousness, then at any point, means at any being level, all the beings, the same consciousness is expressing. And what is its expression? Hunger, thirst, likes, dislikes, joys, sorrows, heat, cold, all these expressions is you get in tune with everyone. How? That you have to discover. So it's the same consciousness functioning as knower known knowledge. So it is not that consciousness is here and knower known knowledge is there. Subject, object and instrument of knowledge is there. No. Then you will have reality as the consciousness and subject, object and instrument of knowledge as something other than the reality. It is not possible. You cannot have a wave separate to water. If you can appreciate what I just said, same way, you cannot separate the thought, because knower known knowledge is a thought. Subject, object, instrument of knowledge is a thought. Seer, seen, seeing is a thought. You cannot separate thought from the reality. Why? Reality alone is pervading the trio. Just like water alone is the substratum, is the material, is the maker, is the efficient principle, which has gone into making the wave. Wave without water is not a wave. Similarly, consciousness, you without consciousness is not you. Consciousness alone is everything. This is what Bhagwan says. Once the knower, Kshetrajna, this comes in the 13th chapter, Kshetrajna Yoga. Once the knower, Kshetrajna, is separated from the field, the Kshetra, then the Kshetra is not one per head, because he is one without a second. Know that I alone am the knower in all the fields. Then if you say that the Kshetra is to be separated from the Kshetrajna, or Kshetrajna is separated from the Kshetra, why we should separate it when it is all one? Because you don't realize that it is all one, because you want to come to the Kshetrajna, the knower, as it is, and for that, initially, disidentification with the body, breath, mind, intellect has to be brought about by these various yoga bhumikas. And when you come into that gap, when you come to be that conscious silence, then the expression of that, the symptom of that conscious silence, or the expression of that conscious silence, is the unspoken, thought-free realization that you alone are you meaning the self alone is in and through the entire creation. This is the disposition. This is the revelation. And it's thought-free. That happens, and then you may give words. And what are those words? Exactly what Jnaneshwar Maharaj is giving now. He is voicing what he experienced on the seat of meditation. With this knowledge, nothing in the world can create any attachment. Why? I am everything and everyone. So where is the question of getting attached to anything or anyone? Just as one gets into the train at one station and gets off at another without any sense of gain or loss, because I is the common factor in both situations, so also so many bodies, so many waking and dream planes of consciousnesses have come and gone, but I continue to be the same. I, as the conscious principle, continue to remain the same. Wakers have come and gone. In fact, the Triputi, waker, waking world, waking experience. Dreamer, dream world, dream experience. Deep sleep is absence of the two. These have come and gone innumerable times in my life, but I have continued to be the same. I have continued to be the same. This appreciation comes when you are not focused on the I thought with reference to something. See, when you are taking the whole experience in totality, then the consciousness that you are is the witnessing consciousness. And when there is no data to refer to, then you are the undifferentiated consciousness. And once you experience once the undifferentiated consciousness is revealed, thereafter the vision transforms. And what is that transformation? You see that everything is the vibhuti or the glory of this pure consciousness alone. Then you will still speak, this is day, this is night, this is hunger, this is this person, that person, but within it's all the undifferentiated self. And because everything is the self, what is the need to talk about anyone? What is the need to maintain the dualistic experience? So such a wise person sits in silence, speaks only if required, ever in that disposition of undifferentiated consciousness. See. Therefore, when one gives something, there is no obligation to anyone. One alone is the giver as well as the receiver. Transferring the wallet from one pocket to another in the same jacket is no loss or no gain. Catch this in this world. There is no loss and no gain. You are Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Mudachyate. You are the Purna, meaning you are the complete one. Undifferentiated consciousness is Purna. The water as substratum is Purna. Infinite number of waves appear out of the water does not reduce in any manner. So many waves merge back into the water does not increase in size and volume. See how beautiful. If this is understood that water is complete, so also pure consciousness that I am is complete. If I give, I have not become a beggar. If I get something from someone, I have not become rich. I continue to be who I am. So bedhadak dete raho. Sacrifice your life. And what is that sacrifice? Give, 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 give. And if someone gives you, take it and give it again. The more you empty yourself rather than more you collect. If you collect more things, there will be clutter in your mind. The more you give away, emptier will be the mind. Empty mind is undifferentiated consciousness. देखो कैसे सब कनेक्ट हो रहा है. Everything is getting connected. Here the example Swamiji is taking is taking a wallet from one pocket to another pocket. It's still in the same jacket. So, being the undifferentiated consciousness means whether I eat the food like Sai Baba, whether I eat the food or the dog eats the food, hunger principle is the same. Whether I build a house or I help someone else to build the house, the principle of accommodation is the same. This is what we are talking about is Sarvatmya Bhav. Sarva Atma Bhav. Disposition of being one in and through all. Sarva means all. The all is one in all. It is not separate from me to you. If there is not separate from me to you, then whether you eat or I eat, whether you see or I see, whether you go or I go, whether you sleep or I sleep, it's the same. It's crazy, I can't understand. You have to get there. From the vision of the Supreme, like that of Lord Krishna, whatever be the manifestation, it is only Divyam. Whatever is the manifestation is Divyam means of the nature of light. That which is Divyam means that which is divine, that which is full of undifferentiated knowledge. It is only divine. The unmanifest yogam and manifest vibhuti aspects are both expressions of the divine. So, just like the sun rays and the heat are vibhuti or the glory of the sun, the waves on the ocean are the glory or vibhuti of the water, just like the various ornaments are the vibhuti or the glory of the gold, various pots are the vibhuti or the glory of the mud. Similarly, this entire creation of all variety, multiplicity, duality is the vibhuti, with all its expressions, is the vibhuti of the one divine reality. And that one divine reality is equal to undifferentiated consciousness. That undifferentiated consciousness, I am, in essence. How wonderful. He who knows this tattvam, principle, is one with the self. To understand this absolute standpoint, to be able to see the Lord's creation, His Vishwarupam, one requires divine vision, Divya Chakshu. And that's what Arjuna, when he asked, "Oh Lord, I want to see your various infinite numbers of expressions in one go," he said, for that you need a different vision. Your physical vision will not, the present vision will not work. And therefore he touched his third eye and he got the divine vision was invoked. The Divya Chakshu was invoked. Similarly, when in the previous verse we were told that when you breathe in and don't breathe out and hold the breath, your attention was not told you keep it on your knees or you keep it on your ankles. No, your attention was told to be kept on the third eye. Because this kumbhak will help the third eye to open. How it opens, don't worry about it. You do the practice, remain awake, be committed, be disciplined, do it. 24 hours is there, walking, sleeping, sitting, watching TV. Keep practicing, holding on to this. Or this exercise which is being told here. Such a vision comes in yek kshane, meaning beyond the realm of time, means ere long. If you make yourself available, in an instant it happens. Whenever it happens in an instant. It does not happen first little bit, then more. No, it will happen instantaneously. Where the time stands still, that is in our own essential being. So you have gone beyond space, you have gone beyond the movement of time or the sequence of time, and because there is no sequence of time, there is no objectivity to be observed. That is what our japa sadhana does. As you go from Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, the spandana, the flux of the sound, Om, 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 it keeps reducing, 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 reducing. Either you catch the gap between two ohms, or you be the witness of the appearance of Om and the absence of Om, or you remain in between the gap of two ohms. This will be the experience of what? Sarvatmya Bhav. Sequence is established only because of me. So time is established because of the consciousness. Because the mind is there, therefore the dream is there. Nothing in the dream has come from outside the mind. Mind is essentially consciousness. So is true in the waking. This mind is essentially consciousness. If you practice any of these exercises, you will realize. And then, where is the whole world? Where has it come from? It has come from the consciousness that I am. How it has come? As if under certain conditions it comes about. Are those conditions under your control, or are you at their mercy? When you come to the gap, when you are in between the two breaths or the two thoughts, you become the master of all the possibilities, of all the conditionings, space-time and objectivity. Then you don't succumb to them. Consciousness of sequence is time. Once the attention is kept focused on consciousness, time, which is only an illusion of movement, stops. So don't get lost in past, present, future. Don't get lost in individuality and totality. Don't get lost in heaven and earth and heaven and hell. Be truthful to yourself. You are here, and initiate such exercise where all movement stops. When all movement stops, called deep sleep, you feel the most rejuvenated and in bliss. Can you recreate that condition in the waking? You don't have to, how do I empty everything from my mind like in deep sleep? Here examples were given of the breath. All these examples, we are in the 6th example now. 6 exercises have been given. See? This wave of thought is tied up in the next OV, but is quickly followed by another set of examples as if to reinforce the thought. This is the technique of Abhyasa, where a theme is repeated through different examples from different angles. Yesterday, some of you were listening to the lecture yesterday, and Advaitanubhuti by Shankara, and there someone told me, Swamiji, you already made the point that we are the witnessing consciousness, then again and again why you are repeating it? This is Abhyasa. 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. Why I have to repeat it again and again, where we repeat it so many times so that one day we don't have to remember, it automatically comes. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakuruvata Sanjaya अथ योगानुशासनम योग चित्तवृत्ति निरोधा इति योगः तदा द्रष्टुः स्वरूपे अवस्थानम. A small child also keeps repeating mum. Mummy tells mama, 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 and he keeps saying mama, 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 and anything that you repeat again and again and again. In most of the things that we repeat, there is a conclusion, there is a phalavyapti. When you repeat these exercises of being in the middle of the two thoughts, between the middle of the two breaths, of maintaining a disposition where the self alone is expressing through all the senses in all the beings at the same time, what would it be like? Your mind stops. You keep practicing it again and again and again and again. One day it will click. One day it will click. How it clicks, that's not your problem. Your job is to only initiate it. Initiate the attention in the correct place. Somewhere it has to go. Your attention is going somewhere. So choose wisely. This is the technique of Abhyasa, where a theme is repeated through different examples from different angles. So what are Upanishads? They are talking about the pure consciousness, the Brahman, the Atman. Why there are so many Upanishads, 108, maybe even more? Each one is approaching the same thing from different angles. Just like you people are sitting in one room, and room is the same, but each person is asked to tell what is there in the room. He is looking at the room from his angle. Who is the wise man? Who knows all the angles of approach. Then there is no friction. Then there is no friction within our mind. But what is that friction? Incomplete knowledge. Why? Because you are able to appreciate all angles of approach being where you are. So you are sitting here and any person comes and talks to you, you are able to appreciate their approach to life. And because you are not judging that person, because you are not anti that person, against that person, no, my way of looking at life is only correct and yours is wrong, then you can never help that person. You can never understand what that person is going through. तया सारिखा ठावो हानिकराचा आत्मभावो येणे का पाहो न पाहो लाभे. Like this status of Yoga Bhumika, the Supreme Self is beyond limitations. Hence it is ever possible to talk about seeing and not seeing in the Self. It is... I think we will stop here. I am at someone's house. Breakfast is ready. So contemplate on these two. Let your till we meet next on Wednesday or Thursday or Saturday or Sunday. I'm back in Melbourne tomorrow. So this is what we do all the time. Even if I am sitting in front of the TV, sometimes my attention is on the silence. That's where unfoldment happens. Silence is equal to the gap, is equal to undifferentiated consciousness, is equal to gap between the two thoughts, is equal to gap between the two breaths, is equal to the sandhi in the day or night, In the morning when the night goes and the day comes, in the evening when the day comes and the day goes and the night comes. When the foot leaves the ground and leaves the ground when you're taking a step, that last moment when it is leaving the ground is the sandhi. Then when it is again placed on the ground, the moment the foot touches the ground is the sandhi period. Just, it has not touched, yet it is about to. That people talk about as meditation. You should be walk with awareness, talk with awareness, see with awareness, eat with awareness. Eat with awareness means does not mean how many things are there. No, eat with awareness, conscious eating. If you eat consciously, you will eat. Automatic diet will happen. Similarly, when you are being conscious of the gap of the space between, automatically the diet of multiplicity will start reducing. And when the diet reduces, don't go to sleep. Remain slowly, build up the stamina so that you remain awake. It is easy to do it once and really enjoy the meditation, and next time you are not able to do it. But instead, find out, refine yourself, that what is working for you. How do I maintain the gap? Not how do I, why am I not getting any experience, why am I not abiding? Then your attention is on unwanted things. Our name of the game is to remain in silence, to remain in the sandhi, to remain in the kumbhak, to remain in a disposition wherein one is in all and all is in one. We can appreciate when we hear it, but it is not our direct experience. Our direct experience about one in all and all in one is very easily understood through dream example, but it must translate in the waking also. Then it must translate that both the waking and dream as well as the deep sleep, all of them are also nothing but expressions of the self alone. But you cannot get to that point without having first worked at the ground level where you are right now. So, in this way, help yourself through the words of the scriptures. Here we are doing Jnaneshwar Maharaj, and Jnaneshwar Maharaj is this Amrutanubhav, is his experience of realization, and he is writing not because he wants to show off, he is writing because his Gurudev, Nivruttinath, he asked him that please pen down your experience so that it benefits others. And I am certain that over the years that we are taking this text, it has benefited immensely. And here there are still another 10 yoga bhumikas to go, and we'll take the next one in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.